This is Robin Wouters from Tech.eu. I'm here with Jens from Wooga. Can you quickly introduce yourself? For those who don't know the company and you.
Yeah, I'm Jens Begemann, and we at Wooga, we are mobile games developers. So we do games for iPhone, iPad, Android, and everybody is here in Berlin. So we have over 250 employees all in this old factory in the heart of Berlin.
Nice. So what kind of games would people know you from?
Yeah, so I would say our most popular games are most recently a game called Jelly Splash, which is top 20 all over the world, then Diamond Dash, Monster World, Pearl's Peril, Bubble Island, some of the games, all of these had tens of millions of users.
Right. Can you talk a little bit about because obviously the gaming world has changed a lot over the last 4 or 5 years since you got started. How has that affected you as a company?
Yeah, we've basically reinvented ourselves 3 times in the last 5 years. Initially, we started with Facebook games, and initially it was all about virality, but then we really made a shift, 2010, to long-lasting games that were really about engagement for many, many months. And then there was a shift, 2011, 2012, to mobile. And now the next shift is happening in the industry where it's all about hit-driven and only the hits count and only the hits are really big, and we've changed our company to reflect that.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? How do you make a company more hit-driven as a games developer?
Yeah, so what we do is we constantly question every project. So we kick off about 15 game projects a year, right? There are many more concepts and prototypes where we kick off 15 productions a year. And then every 3 months we really question ourselves, should we continue working on this game or not, right? And we say, will this become a hit? Yeah, we continue. If we think, hey, that's probably not becoming a hit, we stop. And then our goal is that out of those 15 productions, we have 2 hits a year, but they are then so big that each of these could basically propel the company forward.
Right. Can you share a few numbers with us, the basics?
Yeah, sure. So, well, over 250 employees. We have every month 50 million active users, so 50 million active users.
And this is across mobile and Facebook, right?
That's across mobile and Facebook. In terms of revenue, now 70% of our revenue is mobile. So 2 years ago it was 0, now it's 70%. We're profitable since 2 years, and we're very happy about that. And our current revenue run rate is twice as high than it was a year ago. So we're organically growing.
Can you give us a ballpark number for revenue? Or?
Yeah, we don't like to talk about revenue so much because then as soon as you give out a number, you basically have to update it every quarter, otherwise people speculate. And I think that in the games industry and in general as a startup, it's better to be really driven by the long run and not by quarters. I'm really driven by our 2020 vision, right, and not by our next quarter.
Aside from the hit-driven nature of the industry right now, how do you see 2014 changing the industry, especially when it comes to casual gaming?
Yeah, so what happened over the last 1 or 2 years is that it has all shifted to free-to-play. So there are statistics that on the App Store, far over 90% of all revenue is generated by free games within the purchases. So that shift really has happened. That is the past and now just an established fact. And going forward, it's really about quality because so many games come out. It's about 1,000 new mobile games come out every week. 1,000 new games every week on the iPhone, 1,000 new games every week on Android. And to stand out, you have to be special and you have to have a very high degree of quality and polish. So we have a game called Jelly Splash where early 2013 we had a playable version. We thought, hey, that really has potential. And then we took 6 more months till August of 2013 till we launched that. And that has really proven to be the right decision.
Right. So let's talk a little bit more about the Berlin startup ecosystem. You've been here for a while, so you've seen all the changes. How do you see this going forward? How do you see the ecosystem evolving this year?
So I think Berlin is very, very exciting as a startup hub. It's still young. Only in the last few years you've really seen innovative companies coming up with really new innovative ideas where they address the world and not just Germany as a country. But it's really growing. So for example, Bill Gates has invested into ResearchGate just a few months ago. SoundCloud got this investment from the US and all of these funding rounds with dozens of millions of dollars. So I think that really we're at the early stage, but it really has the chance that Berlin becomes a major startup hub in the world, and we are very, very happy to be here, and it's a very attractive place for people to move to. So more than half of our employees are from other countries. Even though we're based here in Germany, more than half of them are from other countries, and we have over 40 nations working here in this office in Berlin. And therefore I'm very positive for the next few years.
But is that also a reflection of the fact that it's getting hard to find new tech talent here in Berlin?
I think for us it's more about that we are an international company that happens to have its headquarters and its only offices here in Berlin. Germany for us is just 10% of our market. So German-speaking markets, even though it's 100 million people, that's just 10% of our revenues. And you can't do games for Brazilian women, for example, with a bunch of German men, right? You really need people from all over the world to make products that fit to these international tastes. And that's the key driver. We try to hire the best people in the world, and we don't care so much where they come from.
What about the users? Where you mentioned 50 million active users per month. Where are they based mostly?
Yeah, so our biggest single country is the US, due to the sheer size of the market. But in aggregate, Europe for us is bigger than the US, right? So the main hub still for us is Europe, even though in the last few years it has really shifted to the US, also South America, and Asia, especially Southeast Asia.
Right. So what keeps you up at night? What's your biggest problem right now?
Oh God, it's so many things and changes all the time. But I think if I would look back at 2013, it has really been, okay, the industry is shifting to being hits-driven. How can we change the organizational culture, the organizational design to reflect that? And I think we've been very successful in that shift, where we're able to question a project. And if we stop it, it's not the end of the world, but people then just start to work on other projects and other games that are really, really promising. And implementing that and making that in such a way that I don't kill the games, because it's not my decision, it's the team's decision to do that, that has really been the biggest shift 2013. And for this year, it's really about delivering the next hits and continuing to grow again, well, because we think we're still in the early stages, and still in the early stages as a company.
Nice. So a lot of people don't know this, but since you're regarded as one of Berlin's startup success stories, at least in the making, your last funding round was like almost 3 years ago, right? So the 24 million round. Do you see yourself raising more funding or going public at some point, or how do you see that evolving?
Yeah, so we were very lucky that when we raised this round in May 2011 of $24 million, that we became profitable about half a year after this. And we are continuing to invest as much as we can and as fast as we can, as we think it's healthy for the company. But because we are profitable since 2 years, we're able to do that with our own cash. And that is a really great situation to be in, because a funding round is always also a distraction. So for me, no matter what others tell you, speaking to many entrepreneurs, if you do a funding round, it's a period of 3 months where your productivity on other things is much lower. And I think that has really helped us in the last few years, that we were able to really focus on growing the company.
Makes sense. Okay, Jens, thank you very much for your time, and best of luck this year.
Thank you, Robin.